From a coach throwing things onto the ice to a player saving a goal with his nuts. These are 20 wildest moments in NHL history. Starting our list at number 20 is one of the wildest NHL coaches. You know, some coaches can get really frustrated when their team is underperforming, but I've never witnessed one actually do something extreme like throw things onto the ice. Well, except for that one instance when the New Jersey Devils coach was so furious that he tossed an entire bench onto the ice. What was he thinking? Coaches are expected to manage their emotions and set a positive example. This incident clearly crossed that line, and all that got him fired. And if you think that crossed the line, just wait until you see number 19. Back in the day, NHL players didn't have the same protection protocols that exist today. You always had to watch out for the opposing team. Otherwise, they would quickly knock the living daylights out of you. And on February 26, 1984, Mike Modano was going to learn that the hard way.
Across the line, Dolan. Back for Modano. Oh, was he hit? Messier looked like he hit him in the head with his shoulder. And Modano may have been knocked out here.
Yeah, this guy really got knocked out. And trust me, that wasn't the end of it. Doctors said Modano needed to be rushed to the hospital, but getting to the ambulance was going to be even more dangerous than his experience on the ice.
It's an ambulance. He is conscious. Yeah. You can see the eyes open. Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness!
No way, man. How could you drop a guy with a neck injury like that? Well, that wasn't painful compared to what happened to Steve Moore at number 18.
The incident and Todd Bertuzzi out of the game with a 5-minute...
During a heated game against the Colorado Avalanche, Todd Bertuzzi went into beast mode as he escalated on-ice aggression by attacking Steve Moore.
Yeah, the face of Steve Moore, his head goes down here, Bertuzzi goes after him, and he lands on him right there. And then the pile lands on Steve Moore. Looks like he's out at that point.
Another look at it. Bertuzzi wanted him, piled on him, and you can see that his head hits the ice and everyone else piles on, and that doesn't help. Gives him a whack, and piling on is Andrei Nikolic, and everybody's into it. Now we get a line brawl, and Hedberg won.
You see, the Avalanche were leading 8-2 in the third period, and Bertuzzi decided to pull Moore down from behind and slammed his head onto the ice while others jumped on. Well, I doubt he'll come out of that unscathed.
Steve Moore down in the pile-up at center ice. The fans in this building also step out and take a break. 8-2, the Avalanche lead.
Steve Moore ended up with a concussion and 3 fractured vertebrae and was never able to play again. He couldn't just let it go, so he filed a $68 million lawsuit against Todd Bertuzzi and the Vancouver Canucks for damages. That's truly unbelievable. But not as unbelievable as number 17, where Kellen Lane made history for the shortest ever NHL debut.
Yeah, I don't think he'd envisioned it playing out this way either as his first shift in the NHL.
Well, Kellen wanted to make his family proud, so he invited all his relatives and friends to watch his NHL debut, and that's when things took a turn.
It's a moment no hockey parent would ever miss. Jim and Sheila board a plane for Vancouver to watch their son's first game.
Morella at the Vancouver bench is already looking at the
and here we
Calgary
go.
bench.
Line brawl to start this game.
Just 2 seconds after the puck drops, a face-off brawl. Kellen is one of 8 players ejected from the game and makes history for the shortest ever NHL debut.
Welcome to the NHL.
In Oakville, Kellen's mom says that 2 seconds of fame might not be such a bad thing after all.
All of a sudden, Kellen Lane's name was all over the place.
You gotta be kidding me. This guy literally played for just 2 seconds in his debut before getting sent off with 8 others. What a crazy way to start his career and still make his family proud.
The old Stanley Cup playoffs.
But you couldn't be more proud of this guy. At number 16, one player truly put it all on the line for his team.
Blake, in a tie Stanley Cup playoff game, was willing to lay it all on the line that his future generation of children are going to feel it. And whammy, right in the old baby makers are going to feel it. I mean, my man Blake went all out for his team. Huddled that a dad who's ever been sucker punched by his kids right in the balls can relate.
This guy is fearless. Blake blocked a shot with his family jewels. Now that's real bravery. I hope he recovers quickly. It's not just players who make mind-blowing moves. At number 15, one referee shows us that it takes real guts to officiate an NHL game.
Tuzo here, who's got the puck now.
And he gets it in off the referee.
Was in the far corner, right here. I mean, look at this bounce. I mean, we saw it crazy.
NHL referee Tim Peel accurately took a shot to the beanbag and still managed to score a goal all in one play. Talk about killing two birds with one stone. Now that's legendary. We have another legendary moment at number 14 when one fan saved a team manager's life.
Equipment manager Brian Hamilton would have his life completely changed. See, one fan noticed something strange on his neck, and that's when she did everything possible to get his attention.
During a Canucks home game, assistant equipment manager Brian Hamilton made a discovery that would completely change his life. See, one fan noticed something unusual on his neck and did everything possible to get his attention. However, there was a big problem. Hamilton had no idea she was calling for him, so he completely ignored and kept going.
Hamilton had no idea she was calling for him, so he ignored it and moved on.
And I'm like, okay, but I kind of kept going all in one motion.
That's when the fan refused to give up and did everything she could to get her message across. So she put her phone up against the glass with a clear message. The mole on the back of your neck is cancer. Hamilton somehow made it all the way through the game without rushing to the hospital, hoping that all of this was just a big nightmare.
But the fan refused to give up. She put her phone against the glass with a clear message. The mole on the back of your neck is cancer. Hamilton somehow made it through the game without rushing to the hospital, hoping it was just another crazy joke. Little did he know, the girl in the stands would end up saving his life.
We flew home that night, and it wasn't until the next day that I asked Jessica, I said, hey, Jess, is there a mole on the back of my neck? And she's looked and she's like, yeah, we're going to see a doctor about this, which luckily I followed up with the doctor and he didn't like it. And then the following home game, they cut it out. And then we got the biopsy, and sure enough, the phone call is, we're going to diagnose you of cancer and we're going to cure you of cancer in the same phone call.
This fan literally saved his life. How wild is that? And that's not the only incredible story. At number 13, this kid came to his first ever NHL game, and the fans decided to make it unforgettable. The kid didn't even understand what was going on at first, but later on, you could see the excitement on his cute little face. But our 12th moment is anything but cute as Keith Baller went from defending his goalie to almost knocking him out.
And now they do push it ahead, and Kovalchuk's got a breakaway. Ilya Kovalchuk on Vokun, stopped by Vokun, and then Kovalchuk scores! Vokun made the save, he couldn't find it. And Vokun is down in his net. I believe Keith Ballard broke his stick and it may have caught Vokun in the head. And Vokun is bloodied, oh my goodness. What happened there after the play?
Gonna see Vokun lost the puck on the goal. Keith Ballard came in. Banks it into the empty net.
Oh boy.
Here's gonna get a better look at what happens.
1 second he's a teammate, and the next he's smashing his teammate on the head. Talk about a wild swing in emotions. Bro was definitely disappointed.
Patrick Stefan, you should be embarrassed for what you...
But that's not as disappointing as number 11 as we witness one of the wildest endings in NHL history. Patrick Stefan, known as one of the worst overall picks ever, faced a moment that would cast a shadow on his career forever.
Stefan steals and he'll ice it. Oh, at least I thought he was gonna. The other way, and Hemsky's loose. Hemsky, what we just saw.
But that wasn't the end. After a major miss, His team went on to concede a goal that tied the game with just 2.4 seconds left on the clock.
Left. That's the most embarrassing thing I've seen on the National Hockey League ice. And I don't know,
To clinch the win, all he needed to do was tap it in, just like Hemsky did, but he completely blew it.
We've got a fight!
Well, the moments we've seen so far have been wild, but now we're entering the top 10, so buckle up because things are about to get intense. Our 10th moment showcases Garnet Hathaway switching into beast mode as he tears his opponent apart in a matter of seconds.
Drop pass, wrist the line and set it wide. Hildeby was knocked down, and now we've got a fight. Is that Hathaway? Jake McCabe is hurt.
The referee stood there with them as long as he could. Caught Jake McCabe to his dressing room, and I would say that it is highly unlikely we're going to see Jake McCabe back.
First period. And now on his skates.
Boom. He's down on the ice, and the ref just stood by as Brian McCabe took a serious beating.
Jake McCabe is hurt.
I really hope McCabe is okay after that. He's still having trouble regaining consciousness. I bet his whole day is ruined. But nothing could ruin a moment like number 9. We're talking about the 1988 Stanley Cup Finals that was marred by a power failure.
It was a do-or-die game for the Bruins, as they were down 3-0, and everyone was buzzing, because with the scores tied at 3-3 and only 3 minutes left on the clock.
See, this game was a life-or-death game for the Bruins, as they were initially down 3-0. Before long, they equalized, setting great tension amongst the fans with the scores tied at 3-3 and only 3 minutes left on the clock. Just when the Bruins got another chance to spark things up, this happened.
Lifeline.
This goes to an
The power is out at Boston Garden. The players have left the ice or are in the process of leaving the ice as of just a couple of minutes ago. So with the break in the telecast, you are not missing the hockey game. The hockey game itself has stopped at Boston Garden.
A power outage struck the Boston Garden, leading to the suspension of the game. Although this meant the Bruins would get another chance to salvage their season, they sadly had to play at the Oilers Arena. The Bruins were on the verge of being swept in the Stanley Cup Finals. At number 8, let's talk about one of the wildest traditions in NHL history that'll completely sweep you off your feet.
Passing year. The Wings Octopus tradition has also launched several.
Back in 1952, the Detroit Red Wings were on a remarkable 7-game winning streak in the playoffs, and the insane Cusimano brothers decided it would be a great idea to toss an octopus onto the ice. I mean, there's no way an octopus could crawl in there unnoticed, right?
Offensively, not too many options left for the old octopus to find its way on the ice. Only 3 more games here for this to happen.
Passing year. The Wings Octopus tradition has also launched several. Since 1952, the practice.
Now, throwing an octopus on the ice might seem strange, but it's also pretty funny. When you look at it the other way, the octopus has 8 arms, symbolizing the 8 victories needed to win the Stanley Cup. You see, they really thought this through, and it has since become a beloved tradition.
Show me what you did.
Well, we took the octopus and put it down the pants, and
What's the sensation of having an 11-pound octopus in your pants?
It was cold.
But it didn't stop there. This crazy ritual took a special spot in the Red Wings culture that some fans would even hide octopuses in their pants just to sneak them into the arena. What a heated moment. But nothing got fans heated up as much as number 7, where they watched the legendary Snoop Dogg performing at the NHL All-Star Weekend.
Los Angeles, California, get on your feet and make some noise for your NHL All-Star.
The league had Snoop Dogg perform a DJ set at center ice before the skills competition began. His uncensored DJ set was a hit, but it was a bit too strong for the kids. Now let's move on to number 6. In the NHL, there are only a few things that aren't meant to be strong, And this definitely wasn't supposed to be one of them. A goalie falling through the ice? Sounds unbelievable until you see it with your very own eyes.
And this is going to be something. O'Reilly's into the stands fighting with it.
Look, if you're going after one of the toughest players in NHL history, you've got to be prepared for a beatdown because, honestly, you're asking for it.
Up to Esposito, one side in alone. Cheever saves! Esposito walked in all alone, smashes his stick and breaks it.
During the game between the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers, Esposito missed his last chance to make the game a draw, and Boston fans were not happy about it.
Well, they're milling around there. I don't know what the temper's frayed.
If you're sitting in the stands and keeping to yourself, you probably don't expect to get involved with any player.
Fans are now getting involved. As O'Reilly is out into the stands fighting with a Ranger fan, and all that's going up to grab somebody about 7 or 8 rows up.
You got to worry about a spectator.
Well, the Bruins are...
But if you don't watch your mouth, you might end up getting beaten up badly, even with your own shoe. Now you've got to admit, that's pretty ridiculous. Over the time, fans have tossed some crazy items onto the ice, including burgers, rats, waffles, and even octopuses. But those don't stand a chance compared to our fourth wildest moment.
Yeah, that's a dildo. These dudes don't get paid enough.
No one could have ever expected to see a dildo on the ice. Now that's some next-level stuff. And as we dive into the top 3, you can bet we're in for even wilder moments. Snatching the number 3 spot is a fascinating goal by Ziggy Palffy, but what followed would leave everyone buzzing.
Centers Palffy. Palffy is shot bangles. Power play goal, and it's now 3-2. Did we just see a kiss?
At that time, Ziggy Palffy had a beautiful wife, Andrea Palffy, whom he loved dearly. However, after scoring a crucial goal, Ziggy decided to pull off an insane celebration that would put his marriage into questioning.
33rd, 5th on the power play, first that produces a kiss from Green and McInnes.
Damn, this guy really crossed the line. But the next wildest moment not only crossed the line, it shattered boundaries. Now at number 2, we have the most fascinating celebration in NHL history. You see, after the Capitals won the Stanley Cup in 2018, a certain player noticed something odd while parading their victory.
When the players started skating around the ice, all the players saw something odd going on. All players except the grade 8. Yeah, that girl was literally flashing her.
So what's captured the attention of all these players? It's the lady in white, who put on quite a flashy celebration. She pulled down her dress and pushed her chest up against the glass. I guess that's one way to stand out when the crowd goes wild.
While everyone was skating, one lady decided to flash the crowd. Talk about a flashy celebration. She literally pulled down her dress and pushed her chest up against the glass, and the crowd goes wild. Well, it's all part of the unpredictable and wild atmosphere surrounding the game. And at the pinnacle of the wildest moments in NHL history, we have another unpredictable incident that nearly claimed lives.
Excruciating. I can't stand this anymore. I said, why don't we...
On November 16th, 1996, the arena's first Jumbotron, an 8-sided scoreboard made by Daktronics with Sony video screens, fell to the ice while it was being remotely moved.
The brand new Marine Midland Arena in Buffalo was supposed to be a state-of-the-art facility. However, routine maintenance proved disastrous on a fateful afternoon in November 1996. A cable snapped on the gigantic 40,000-pound 8-sided scoreboard as it was being lowered for maintenance, sending the entire...
A cable snapped on the 40,000-pound scoreboard, sending it crashing down. Fortunately, This happened minutes after a few players ended practice, and hours before a game between the Buffalo Sabres and Boston Bruins. No players were on the ice at the time, and nobody was harmed.
While the falling scoreboard in Buffalo was a scary moment, fortunately nobody was hurt. The scoreboard was replaced later that year.
However, the Sabres were left without a jumbotron for the next 2 weeks until they finally got a replacement. And that brings us to the close of the wildest moments in NHL history. What moment shocked you the most? Let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more engaging content.